30,000 feet above an unforgiving ocean, silence is a pretty rare thing. Inside the massive belly of a C-5 Galaxy military transport, the air is so thick with tension you could cut it with a knife. This isn't a transport, it's a cage. Inside it, a king is being held captive. We're talking chains laced with what looks like adamantium restraints forged to hold a god. King Kong is a silhouette of immense power, even when he's forced to be still. Every single breath he takes is a reminder of the primal force the military was trying to control. Beneath his dark fur, his muscles are coiled like massive springs, twitching. For a few moments, there's nothing but the drone of the engines and the steady, heavy beat of a colossal heart. Then, his eyes snap open. And these aren't the eyes of some dumb animal. They belong to a deposed monarch, and he's intelligent. A low growl rumbles through the cargo bay, a vibration that feels like an earthquake in your chest. With a sudden, explosive roar of pure defiance, Kong flexes. Metal shrieks, sparks fly, and a shackle as thick as a tree trunk shatters. Alarms scream to life, bathing the entire hold in flashing red light. The king is free. Panic erupts over the intercom, a mess of shouted orders and frantic status reports. But it's all just noise against the fury of the awakened Titan. Kong rises to his full, magnificent height, and his roar challenges the thunder of the jet engines themselves. He was captured, a prize to be poked, prodded, and contained. But as soldiers scramble to figure out what to do, far more desperate sound cuts through the chaos from the other side of the bay. It's the hiss of powerful hydraulics, the groan of another reinforced cage being opened. You see, this was the military's contingency plan. It's their insurance policy. They didn't just capture a monster. They brought one of their own along for the ride. This wasn't a transport mission. It was a powder keg waiting for a spark. From the shadows of his own containment unit, a figure emerges. A being of pure, green-skinned rage. The Hulk. He isn't a prisoner here. He's a weapon, unleashed as the final, desperate measure of control. His eyes burning with raw gamma radiation, fixed on the great ape. There's no negotiation in his posture, no hesitation. There is only the promise of destruction. Across the trembling floor of this very fragile aircraft, the two most powerful forces on the planet lock eyes. Their battleground? A metal tube, miles above the Earth? Kang, driven by the raw instinct for freedom and the rage of his capture, answers the silent challenge first. He beats his chest, deafening rhythmic declaration of war that echoes through the fuselage. The Hulk roars back, a sound of pure, bottomless fury that threatens to tear the sky apart. Then, they charge. The first impact is a cataclysm. A shockwave of pure force sends every piece of unsecured cargo flying. The plane lurches violently, groaning as its very frame is rocked by the collision. Forget tactics. This is a primal war, fought in close quarters. Kong, surprisingly agile in this confined space, shows his intelligence, grabbing loose military hardware and swinging it like a club. He's a king, defending his right to exist. Hulk meets this ferocity with sheer, unstoppable power. He's a walking demolition engine. Every punch he lands doesn't just stagger the ape. It leaves a massive dent in the plane's interior walls. He tears through crates and support beams like they're made of cardboard. The environment itself becomes a casualty of their epic struggle. With each blow, the military transport screams under the strain. Rivets pop. Metal tears. The real enemy here isn't each other. It's gravity, and it's just waiting patiently for one of them to make a single, catastrophic mistake. The brutal dance of destruction only gets worse. Kong manages to grapple the Hulk, using his immense weight and strength to slam the green behemoth straight into the side of the plane. For a second, the ape has the upper hand. His raw power a match for the Hulk's rage. But here's the thing about the Hulk. Rage is his fuel. With a thunderous roar, he just gets stronger, breaking free from Kong's grip. He unleashes a thunderclap, a concussive blast of sound and force that staggers the mighty ape, leaving him completely disoriented. And in that moment, the breaking point is reached. A misplaced punch, a desperate slam it, doesn't even matter who threw it. Their combined force strikes the fuselage at a weak point, and with a sound like tearing thunder, the side of the aircraft rips wide open.
specified. Allow a sunlight and
A violent vortex of depressurization sucks everything not bolted down out into the empty sky. The shriek of the wind is deafening, overwhelming the alarms, the roars, everything. The battle is forgotten, replaced by a desperate fight for survival against the void itself. Their battleground has been torn away from under them. Cargo plane, their cage, and their arena is now just a field of plummeting wreckage. Both titans, for the first time, are no longer fighting each other, but the fall. Kong, guided by a primal survival instinct, scrambles toward the gaping hole, his eyes fixed on the clouds below. Hulk, clinging to a twisted piece of the floor, lets out one last defiant roar as the debris field separates them to God's cast from their metal Olympus. They are falling, swallowed by the sky. Their confrontation hasn't ended. It has just moved to a new, much larger arena. The fall has just begun. Who do you think will hit the ground first, and who will rise from the wreckage to finish the fight? Let us know your predictions in the comments below if you want to see what happens next in this clash of legends. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for part 2. You do not want to miss the epic conclusion